Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to the fall campaign for Arkham Horror, the card game. We just played the very last scenario for the campaign this morning, Return to Dim Carcosa, and it turned out Haster proved to be a little too much for the girls of the fall, as they were both driven insane, and Carcosa and Earth are now ruled by Haster, at least according to the lore of the fall campaign. So in this outro video to the fall campaign, we're going to talk a little bit about the campaign and my overall thoughts on it, how the decks performed, and what I would have done differently. Although with as much experience as I had into the decks, hard to argue I would have done anything different with them. But let's talk about the campaign itself first. So Path to Carcosa is actually a really unique campaign in that it really kind of I find that this one messes with your mind more than a lot of the others, through the doubt and conviction in your campaign log based on the decisions you make during the campaign, where the narrator really kind of helps evoke that feeling a little bit more of, is this really the path you want to take? Just with some of the little quips they have. For instance, when you're looking at, during the second scenario, for instance, when you're, let me see where it was here. So coming out of the end of the second scenario, after you, where is it? Here it is. So it's actually the interlude, where depending on the decision, for instance, we decided to basically slay the monsters at the party. Even the narrator says, you did what had to be done, right? Just kind of evoking that little moment of doubt in your mind. And yes, I'm taking some of this from the design notes, because I finally decided to take a look at those, just because I was curious about this one, especially after having finished it, but I really like those details. And these were, as far as the decks themselves go, these are two of the strongest decks that I've ever built. And it just goes to show that on any given day with any given deck, give you the right turn of the card, give you the right or arguably wrong turn of the card, and anything can go sideways on you, or you can potentially, even like a zero experience deck could pull this off, though I'm not betting on that. More likely that these decks would have crushed it. But again, just the turn of a card, or a draw that we don't get, an untimely tentacle. Sometimes that's just the way it goes in this universe, where just the right pull of a card can determine how the deck goes. How the scenario goes. But I'm starting to ramble on that front. Where I'm going with this is I really enjoy this campaign. Especially with all the messing with your mind a bit in this campaign, just through the details like the narrator and stuff like that. But that's enough about the campaign. Let's talk about the investigators themselves, and we'll go say hello first to Jacqueline. Hello, Jacqueline. This build ended up with something like 80 experience in it. This has also been the same build that I've had through 3 campaigns now. My group's first run-through of Edge of the Earth, last year's fall campaign of Return to the Circle Undone, and this year's fall campaign of Return to Path to Carcosa. I really enjoy Mystics, just because they have a lot of that high-risk, high-reward kind of aspect with them, but there's a lot of ways to mitigate the risks with the Mystics. And Jacqueline's is, of course, her ability to screw with the Chaos Bag in her special ability, being able to pull 3 tokens out and cancel 2 of them unless you need to cancel the tentacle for some reason. But yeah, so with the 80 experience that I had in the deck, I was very happy with the path I had Jacqueline on. I could probably take this build into a true solo campaign if I wanted to, which is a tempting idea, but I think we're going to give Jacqueline a bit of time to rest. She's actually earned it, again, going through 3 campaigns with me. But that's it for my ramblings on Jacqueline. Now let's talk about Mandy. Hello, Mandy. I had to start you off with some experience before last year's fall campaign, because you coming in as a 0 experience investigator would have looked very ridiculous next to Jacqueline with 30 or 40 something experience coming out of Edge of the Earth with my play group. But you survived magnificently through 2 campaigns together. I think the house rule on trauma has really helped me with that as well. I'm probably going to keep that moving forward, where I can spend 4 experience per trauma during the campaign to clear trauma, and at the end it's 4 experience per or 10 experience, whichever is less, to clear trauma between the two. So just a quick explanation of how that house rule works. You heard me invoking it a few times. I wanted to make a point of mentioning that. So Mandy, I was very happy with how the deck was running. Mobility was not a big problem at all with Mandy. I think it was a bigger problem with Jacqueline, though. I would have been a lot happier in that last scenario if I would have been able to steal a full-strength Eon chart with Kleptomania rather than having to settle for the Occult Lexicon, which ultimately went away when Mandy bit the dust. But yes, I was very happy with the path I had Mandy on. I would have wanted to add some more options to defend herself, but Seeker really just doesn't have a lot of options to defend itself. Seeker tends to focus on getting clues. I mean, it's got some stuff like I've got a plan, acidic ichor if you're able to research into it. Mostly what it does is try to run away from the enemies, but as we saw, that doesn't always work, and when you run out, Seekers are usually just sitting ducks for the enemies. That's it for Mandy, that's it for the investigators. Now let's bring it back up top to wrap this video up. And that will bring the fall campaign for 2023 to a close. Another really fun run through the returned path to Carcosa, even if we did get hammered at the end there. But again, as I've mentioned, that's just how it goes sometimes. So that will do it for the fall campaign. I might have one more product unboxing tonight. We'll have to see about that. As for what's scheduled on the channel, Wednesday we're debuting Call to Adventure Epic Origins, and Sunday next week we're going to have the last quarterfinal bout in the Greatest Boxer Tournament for Title Bout 2. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.